Welcome to the SEC Unfiltered channel, folks, and I am your college basketball host, Dave Shumate, reacting to you like I always do every night, maybe on Saturdays in the morning if we feel like we can let it marinate a little more, but I'm here reacting to all of Wednesday night's matchups. We had 3 games on the docket. Missouri with the statement win of the night, getting the big home win against Alabama, start to finish. Led it from start to finish, got up 12-0, controlled it most of the way, got a win against Alabama. Auburn wasn't their best, but like I always say, Auburn, highest seat floor in college basketball, survive a home game against a tough Arkansas team that's been playing better. And then Kentucky, it's a very under-the-radar win. Big win when you factor in the injuries they had with Jackson Robinson and Lamont Butler. So give them credit there. The Cats win. We'll go in-depth on all 3 of these games. But this reaction is brought to you by our buddies over at FANDUEL. Go visit FANDUEL.com/SECU to join today and get started with $150 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet, folks. Let's get right into it, though. Missouri with the 110-98 win over the Alabama Crimson Tide. Missouri improves to 20-6, 9-4. Alabama improves to 21-5, 10-3. I mean, obviously, you tell by the score. Phenomenal offensive output here. Missouri gets up 12-0, gets Alabama in a hole. Again, I mean, Alabama hasn't led in 80 minutes now. I mean, Auburn led and controlled most of the game. Same with Missouri, led, controlled most of the game. Auburn was probably, honestly, a little closer than this game was. I mean, give Missouri credit. I would not want to be playing the Missouri Tigers right now, especially at home at Mizzou Arena. Give Dennis Gates and the boys credit. Did a phenomenal job. I mean, he got him the microphone at the end, told him not to storm the court. I like that. Missouri shoots 60% from the field, 39% from beyond the arc. Alabama, 53% from the field, 41% from beyond the arc. Free throw differential, 26. I mean, dang. I mean, Missouri shot 47 to Alabama's 21. I mean, that's what Missouri does. Forces turnovers, gets a lot of points at the free throw lines, and boy, did they get a lot of points tonight. 110 points. Rebounds, Bama had +1, 33-32. Total turnovers, 14-8, but Bama had 10 at the half. So the turnovers in the second half did get significantly better. They did get significantly better. That turnover total is a little skewed. It was in the first half, which had a big factor on why they got in a 12-0 hole. And give Missouri credit. Do a lot of different defensive looks at them. I mean, that's what they do. Points in the paint, 40-38 advantage for the Tigers. Fast break points, 13-2. Points off turnovers, 21 for Missouri. So they converted 14 of those turnovers into 21 points. Largest lead, 20 points for Missouri. And like I mentioned, Missouri led from start to finish. Folks, Missouri, how about our guy Mark Mitchell? 31 points, 11 for 15 from the field, 1 for 3 from beyond the arc. I actually think he hit the first 3 of the game on that first possession off a rebound. I think he did. One of the more underrated players in the sport. Again, transfer from Duke if you've been following, but a phenomenal night for him as well. Tamar Bates with 13, 10 from Tony Perkins. I mean, we're used to seeing it now. Caleb Grill, 25 points off the bench. I think he's going to win 6th man of the year. Him or Chaney Johnson from Auburn, 3 for 9 from beyond the arc. I mean, not a lot of points off the bench from Missouri, really. 25 from Caleb Grill. Cruz had some key points. He had 5, and then Josh Gray with 4. But overall, I mean, the big difference was Bama getting in that 12-0 hole, and give Missouri credit, using the home ground to kind of surge to a big lead early and kind of never let up. I mean, Bama cut it to 6 with about 10 minutes left. Get a stop. Jaron Stevenson misses a rebound. I think it's Tamar Bates, maybe got it if I remember off the top of my head, and gets fouled, goes to the free throw line, and it was kind of off from that. Missouri went a 9-0 run and made a big win for the Missouri Tigers. Again, I don't know if Auburn beat Alabama twice. That'll probably be talked about. Each game's kind of has a life and history of their own. I think this was just another bad start. Just like Auburn got up 9-0 in Tuscaloosa last week. I think the starts, and Bama changed the starting lineup up. Jaron Stevenson didn't get the start. LeBaron Filan did. It's just the starts right now. And Alabama's got to improve that. You got to get better again. I think Auburn probably clinched the regular season tonight, unless Florida has something to say about it. That's it. I probably think Auburn probably clinched it. Big night for Auburn from that point for a regular season standing for Auburn. But what is next for the Missouri Tigers? Again, building off this big win, their next win at Arkansas. You can't be sleeping. You need to go get that win because Missouri's playing for seeding now, guys. Top 4 seeding in the NCAA tournament. Real shot. And I think they put themselves in a real spot to finish in the top 4 of the SEC. The schedule down the stretch isn't difficult. Or I shouldn't say Every game in this league is difficult. It's very manageable compared to other teams. At Arkansas, South Carolina at home, at Vandy, at Oklahoma, Kentucky at home. You beat Arkansas? I mean, I think this team realistically could finish 4-1 down the stretch. That's not unrealistic to me. I mean, 2 on the road, 2 at home. You got to go 3 out of the 5 on the road. But at Arkansas, at Oklahoma, I mean, they're all winnable. There's not a game they couldn't win, especially factoring their toughest one. Kentucky's at home, last game of the regular season. So big win for Dennis Gates and them to factor into the final to try to get those top 4 spots in the SEC standings to get that double bye in Nashville. For Alabama, host Kentucky on Saturday. You got to have it. Again, you're fighting for a number 2 spot now. You're now officially tied with Florida. And actually, I would probably go to the SEC now. I put the power rankings out yesterday or Monday at Alabama too. Right now, I'd probably go Auburn, Florida, Missouri, Alabama. And depending where that Missouri game was, I may go pick Missouri over Florida. Missouri's hot. They're playing really well. Now, do you want to be playing well in February compared to March? I don't know about that. That's a different conversation. I can't project who they'll play or how Missouri will be playing then or injuries. Hopefully none for Missouri. But right now, I wouldn't want to be playing Missouri. I mean, I wasn't even disappointed in their loss at Tennessee. They blew it late, but they still played decent in that game. But for Alabama, Kentucky on Saturday, and then again, their tough stretch. They started 0-2. I mean, from Auburn and Missouri 0-2, and they finish out with Kentucky, Mississippi State, at Tennessee, Florida, and at Auburn. I mean, Bama still it feels like they're still trying to figure out what they want to mix and match this lineup. Again, it's only February. We're about 2 weeks away from March. I mean, I might reinvent the wheel by saying that. You got to figure it out. Bama a little banged up. Latrell Wright cell injury, Darian Reed injury hurting them a little bit. They've actually played bad. This was their probably worst overall game of the year, I would probably say, when you factor in the start. Again, thank God they shot well offensively if you're an Alabama fan. I mean, they kept you in the game in the first half. They were down 13, and it felt like you could have been down a lot more, especially with that start. But not all is it over with Bama. I think if they finish 4-2 in these last 6, or I should say now, they got 5 left. If they go 4-1 in this final stretch, I think they're still going to be a 1 seed, and they'd have a chance even if they probably went 3-2 to go maybe help themselves in Nashville. Again, though, the committee showed them they don't really move seed lines. Again, Auburn won the SEC tournament last year and didn't even move up the seed line. So, I don't know. I mean, Bama's got to start collecting wins. They need to win those next 2. You get them both at home. I know Kentucky's good. I know Mississippi State's good. But those are games you're going to need to get it. You need to get at home if you want to get a number 1 seed. If you want to get a number 1 overall seed from that perspective. But I think the story tonight is the Missouri Tigers. Phenomenal win. Very manageable schedule down the stretch. Under the radar game in Fayetteville on Saturday. Missouri fighting still for a top 4 seed in the league. Number 2 seed, really. And then it'd be interesting to see if Auburn and Missouri played now. I know it was the first game of the conference play at Missouri, at Auburn. It would be interesting. Again, Auburn is the better team, but Missouri's playing well. I would not want to be playing Missouri at all right now. But let's move on from that perspective. 2 more games to get into. Let's go to the number 1 team in the country. Hands down, number 1 team in the country, in my opinion, the Auburn Tigers, getting the 67-60 win. I think Auburn played similar to their floor tonight. I did. It wasn't one of their better games, but coming off an emotional road win, one of the bigger wins in the Bruce Pearl era, you give them benefit of doubt because Arkansas has been playing better. Auburn improves to 24-2, 12-1 in league play, 15-11, 4-9 in league play for the Razorbacks now. Give Arkansas credit. I thought they fought like hell, played really hard. 40% from the field for Auburn, 16% from 3. Did not shoot well at all from beyond the arc, coming off a 40% performance against Alabama and Tuscaloosa. Arkansas, 45% from the field, 15%. So not great shooting across the board. As you can tell, 67-60 was the final. So it wasn't a high scoring affair there. Auburn out rebounds Arkansas 42-29. Turnovers 12-11. What was the fouls in this one? Our free throws 17-14. Nothing not too bad. Biggest lead for Auburn was 9. Arkansas was up 4. This was back and forth. I mean, it was a 6-point game, 33-27 at the half. Arkansas had a chance, cut it to 2 with about 2 minutes left. But no, I wasn't too disappointed. Wasn't too disappointed with either team. You take a win in this league if you're Auburn. Arkansas, I think it's something Cal and them can build on and try to go get one of those big wins late to punch a ticket to the NCAA tournament. Janai Broom, 16 points, 13 boards, walking double-double. Other starters, not great, though. Chris Moore, 2, 9 from Denver Jones, but an elite defender, true alpha, 7 points, Miles Kelly. Chaney Johnson, 14, Chad Baker-Mazara, 15. Chad Baker-Mazara got a tech, if you can believe it. Todd Pettiford with 4. So it wasn't Auburn's best overall game, but I mean, anybody that says they were shocked with that after what they did in Tuscaloosa Saturday, not surprising at all. Not surprising at all. I thought 16 and a half, that was the line of the game, it was actually a lot. I was like, Arkansas's kind of sleeping from that perspective. Not a lot taking this, but I will say, wonderful night for Auburn. Wonderful night. Your 2 games, I mean, you essentially clinched the league, I think, tonight. I mean, as long as you don't have some massive upsets. But again, Bama lost, so you're up 2 games on Alabama. You have the tie. Well, you just beat them. I mean, it forces Bama almost to win out and beat you. And at that point, they'd still, I mean, if Auburn has to drop another game and Bama would have to win out and win at Auburn, that's not going to happen, folks. I think Auburn really separated themselves tonight. Tonight was a big night for Auburn, if you include the Bama loss. I know people are going to look at kind of judge them 67-60 against Arkansas, but I'm going to give Arkansas a little bit more credit here and give Auburn, hey, man, you just came off a big win. You were due to have a little bit of a hangover, but things worked out for you on the scoreboard for other teams with Missouri helping you down the line. And thankfully, you played Missouri early in the season before they were hitting their stride here. Couldn't have worked out better for Auburn. And again, they have the lowest or highest floor in the league, like in the country, like by none. I think it's a big gap. Like Auburn's bad can still beat some solid to decent teams. That's what you saw tonight. I mean, look what they shot from beyond the arc. And they just came off a 40% performance from beyond the arc on Saturday. Let's go 16 tonight, folks. And if you're being nice, you can round it up to 17. But Auburn gets the 67-60 win. What's up next for the Tigers on Saturday? The Ole Miss Rebels come to town. Georgia comes to town. Then they host Ole Miss at Kentucky, at A&M, and Alabama. Again, probably they hold serve at home, these next 2 against Georgia and Ole Miss. This time next week, they're probably wrapping up the league, close to it, I would say. So Auburn's sitting in a beautiful spot. Again, not a great performance individually for them tonight, but things worked out away from the scoreboard as well. And you take a bounce-back win. What is up next for the Arkansas Razorbacks? Again, we talked about it. They host Missouri at home. Big game for both teams, and they host Texas. Need to split those. They need to get one of them. We didn't expect them to get the Auburn one. They still got to get about, 3 more wins? 3 more conference wins across the board there? No, 3. Need to get to 3. Need to split. You would hope to get both. Missouri, Texas, then at South Carolina, at Vandy, the Mississippi State at home. But Auburn getting a big win. And you know what else is big, folks? When the game tips off, FanDuel is big, folks. The NBA action is just beginning on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, because FanDuel is your home for NBA live betting. So even if you missed the first few minutes of the game or want to bet on the fourth quarter comeback, you can make your picks from the first whistle until the final buzzer. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at bigger payout. However you want to play, now is the perfect time to join. New FanDuel customers get started with $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Just visit FanDuel.com/SECU to join today. That's FanDuel.com/SECU for your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 and present in select states. For Kansas, an affiliation with the Kansas Star Casino, or 18 and older and present in D.C. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelpline.ma.org or call 800-327-5050 for a 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York, folks. Let's go to our next one. Where did it go here? Pulled it up for us here. want to get the exact score for you folks here. It was the Kentucky game, 82-61 win for Kentucky. Underrated win for Mark Pope in the tonight, especially when you factor in Jackson Robinson, Lamont Butler being out. Big win for Mark Pope and them, improved to 18-8 overall. I think it was a big win overall. Again, 7-6. Vandy drops to 17-9, 5-8. Thought it was one of their better games, Kentucky tonight. Shot 58% from the field, 40.7% from beyond the arc. 100% for the free throw line. You don't see that every night. 13 for 30. That's nice right there. Vanderbilt, 20% from beyond the arc, 40% from the field, 54% from the free throw line. 6 for 11. Even rebounding advantage, 30-30. Total turnovers, 13-10. Largest lead for Kentucky, 24. I mean, that was the big difference. I mean, Vanderbilt shooting 54% for the free throw line, 100% for Kentucky. And I mean, Kentucky shooting 40% from beyond the arc, Vanderbilt shooting 20%. I mean, that was kind of the difference. Thought it was one of Kentucky's better overall games, especially defensively, at a spot on that side of the court that they've really struggled in. So give them credit from that perspective. Let's give the flowers to the Cats here quickly. 20 points for Otega Owe. He is the leader of the alpha of the team. 17 for Amari Williams. I thought he did a phenomenal job being aggressive tonight in that front court. 12 for Kobe Brea. 11 for Andrew Carr. 7 off the bench for Colin Chandler. They only got and then Ainsley Alamono with 9 as well. So big games across the board for Kentucky. I thought it was one of their better games. Give Mark Pope and the boys credit. Mark Byington, nothing to be disappointed in. It just wasn't your night. 40% for the field, 20% at Kentucky, and they needed a bounce back win after the Texas loss. I mean, it's again, they're not gonna want to get swept by you guys. It is what it is. But 14 for Devin McLaughlin, Jason Edwards with 10, and we had 12 off the bench with Jalen Carey. I still think Vanderbilt's an NCAA tournament team. I really do. I think one of the better wins for Kentucky of the season when you really factor in the guys that are missing. I mean, I took Vanderbilt plus 5.5. Like, I was taking the points. I almost took money line because it's like the injuries, man. Like that could be tough. That could be tough. That's kind of where I was for that perspective. I mean, that's where I was. I mean, will be interesting for that perspective. Let's see what is next for Kentucky on the docket here, folks. At Alabama, big game for both teams. Bama's got to get up off the floor. Kentucky would love a road win. They go at Oklahoma, Auburn at home, LSU at home, and at Missouri. And then for the Doors, the Commodores host on Saturday Ole Miss, and they go at A&M, Missouri, Arkansas, and at Georgia. Because Vanderbilt is now, 5-8? They need about 2 more wins, I think. 8, they'd feel real good. I mean, do I think they get 2 more with that? They should. But, I mean, games like Ole Miss and Arkansas at home are massive, and so is Missouri. I mean, at A&M and Georgia, at Georgia's possible too, but at A&M will be tough for the Commodores there. But big win, one of the more impressive wins. One of the more impressive wins for Kentucky in the season, man. And they have a lot of wins. I mean, they have a Duke win. I mean, they've beaten really good basketball. They've beaten Florida. Like, they have really good wins. I think overall, when you take the contextual level, the context, pull back layers of the injuries out like that. I don't even think Jackson Robinson or Lamont Butler are going to play on Saturday. So give Kentucky them credit. But the ultimate winner of the night, folks, I mean, let's call a spade here. The Missouri Tigers, massive win. I feel pretty good about Missouri finishing in the top 4, folks. I feel pretty good about that from an overall standpoint right now. Let's go to the league standings before we get you out of here. I want to share the screen here so we can go over the league standings. Pull it up. I just like the layout on ESPN better than I do the SEC website at times, folks. So disregard from that perspective. The standings right there, Auburn sitting at 12-1 tonight. Florida improves to 10-3. Alabama at 10-3 now. So you got Auburn, sole possession, up 2 games. Bama and Florida tied for second right there. You have A&M, Missouri, with A&M with the tiebreaker with the head-to-head a couple weeks ago. The Wade Taylor. Sorry to bring it up, Missouri fans. A late shot by Wade Taylor, but they're tied. Still plenty of games to go. 5 left. Tennessee, Ole Miss tied at 8-4. Kentucky at 7-6 with Mississippi State. Vanderbilt tied with Texas at 5-8. 4-9, Arkansas and Georgia sit. 3-10, LSU and Oklahoma sit. And then the South Carolina Gamecocks pretty much locked in the 16 seed at 0-13. So I mean, what do we think is the battle of the top 4 seeds here? The double bye in Nashville. So I think Auburn's pretty much a lock. You feel like at least one of Florida, Bama are. There's 2. I feel like you're really battling out the 2 of the last 2 spots. Probably a battle between one of Florida and Alabama, A&M, Missouri. You still got to keep Tennessee and Ole Miss in that, I think, right now. I don't think Ole Miss ultimately ends it, but I really think the top 4 is going to consist of Auburn, Florida, and 2 of Alabama, A&M, Missouri, Tennessee. I think Ole Miss is going to get it. I mean, the thing that keeps you worried a little bit if you're an Alabama fan is how tough the schedule is down the stretch. They need to win that. If Alabama wins the next 2 games at home against Kentucky and Mississippi State, 2 home games, I feel good they finish in the top 4. I'll say that. I feel really good about it. And then they host Florida. I think 2 weeks from tonight, they host Florida in Coleman Coliseum. So that'll have a chance to play out for second place. But Auburn wasn't great themselves on the floor tonight, guys. But they hit a massive advantage. They're up 2 games. 2 games. Again, Florida has the tiebreaker, though, with the win at Neville about a week and a half ago. But still, massive win for Auburn and Missouri helping them. Missouri helping them from that perspective. Not that I don't think Auburn. I think Auburn would have won the league no matter what if Alabama won by 25 or 30 tonight, guys. I don't really think that's the difference. I'm just saying like Missouri helped them out, giving Auburn more room to breathe. Now Alabama's gonna have to win out. Florida's in that conversation, probably going to afford maybe one more loss. That's it. You're going to have to hope Auburn drops one to at A&M, at Kentucky, which I don't know. Again, I think Auburn has the highest floor. That was kind of their floor tonight. Wasn't great. But they still survived. Now, how do you determine an Arkansas team? I think they're playing better. I think they're playing like an NCAA tournament team right now. Is their overall resume there? Probably not yet, but they're going to have some opportunities down the stretch. But, man, biggest winner of the night, Missouri. Biggest loser, Alabama. I don't think there was anyone who lost a ton. I mean, it's not going to hurt Alabama from a seeding standpoint. It's just you're officially out of the regular season title, and now you're really in the thick of a race for a number 1 seed. And you're battling Florida, who you still have to play, probably Tennessee, Duke. And again, I feel like pretty good with the ACC not being very good. Duke and Auburn are probably locked up 1 seeds. So Houston, you'll be battling with. So, I mean, that 1 seed battle, Houston, Bama, Florida, Tennessee, Iowa State could maybe sneak into it. So, I mean, that's really the next goal for Alabama. I think if they can finish 4-1, they'd have a good shot. Missouri improving their seed line every game. And I'm telling you, folks, that schedule down the stretch, very, very manageable. That's why tonight's win was so big for Dennis Gates in that crew. But, guys, I appreciate you joining. I am your college basketball analyst here at the SEC Unfiltered channel. Guys, this reaction was brought to you by our buddies over at FanDuel, proud title sponsor. Visit FanDuel.com/SECU to join today. And get started with $150 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Guys, I know all 511 of you in here are not subscribed to the SEC Unfiltered YouTube channel. My challenge to you tonight, before your head hits pillow, go subscribe. It's a simple click. I'll buy you a drink if you want it. You got to prove you're doing it though. You got to tweet at the SEC Unfiltered Twitter account. You subscribing. I'll Venmo you a drink. So let's get that subscription up. Best SEC content around in football, basketball, now with baseball. Chris Phillips, Harrison Fant getting you through the spring with the boys of the summer. They're going to Jacksonville for a tournament this week that happens to have Alabama in it. But, guys, big night, big win for Missouri. Auburn putting more cushion in them between them and that regular season race. But again, guys, Nashville not far, about 2.5 weeks. NCAA tournament right around the corner as well. But big slate coming up on Saturday. I will see you on Saturday's reaction. But for Dave Shumate, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night.